permitting appeals of managed care decisions, because Larry Householder believes we should give something back to those who gave us so much.
Mary Ellen O'Shaughnessy is bragging about her prescription drug plan. Hard to imagine why. It has a big new yearly government fee, could force seniors to give up their current prescription drug coverage, has no choice of plans. Many seniors would still pay thousands for their drugs. Government bureaucrats decide what drugs are covered, not doctors. It's just a new government-run drug HMO. Tell Mary Ellen O'Shaughnessy her drug plan is bad medicine.
The Mercury Sable at your Mercury dealer now.
Tonight on Eyewitness News, does your vote count in the race for the White House? The talk is Ohio is going to Bush. But tonight, the Gore camp is fighting back for control of the Buckeye State. 10 TV Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now.
From WBNS 10 TV, Central Ohio's most watched news station, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Ohioans are proud to be in a swing state, but is the election already over here in the Buckeye State? Good evening, I'm Laura Main. Angela's off tonight.
And I'm Dave Kaylor. Thank you for being with us. Now, there hasn't been a presidential race this close for nearly 30 years. The latest CBS New York Times poll shows Republican Governor George W. Bush leading Vice President Al Gore by only 2 percentage points. But a poll of just Ohio voters shows Bush with a lead of 4 points, maybe even more. And today, the Gore campaign made it clear, though, the Democrats are not giving up on Ohio. 10 TV Eyewitness News reporter Penny Moore is live at Democratic headquarters with the latest. Penny, didn't Gore stop spending some money in Ohio, though, last week?
Well, the Gore camp people say that's not entirely true, Dave. The Democratic National Committee did stop buying television ads. They say, though, they were pumping the money into the field instead to finance more phone banks, things like that. Well, today the money is back for TV, $900,000 for the next 15 days to prove that the Gore camp still considers Ohio a swing state.
Governor Bush has never done anything for the Colonia.
The Gore camp is circulating this videotape discrediting George Bush's record as governor of Texas. The theory being, if he can't run Texas, he sure can't run the country. The Democrats' tape shows the squalid conditions in Texas border towns and Texas industrial complexes spewing chemicals into the air.
It's obvious now to everyone that our governor is not going to help clean up the air in Texas. He could care less.
I don't think that this is negative campaigning at all. I think that this is aggressive campaigning.
But here's the problem. At least 2 of the networks are already painting Al Gore out of the picture in Ohio. CBS projects these states will go for Gore, giving him 205 electoral votes so far. And these states, notice Ohio here, are in the Bush camp. They too add up to 205 electoral votes. The remaining states with 128 votes are the toss-up states. But political analyst Herb Asher says Gore should get a last-minute push from Ohio's labor unions.
If you go into the last 2 weeks, even though the Republicans have more money for ads throughout the country, the Democrats may have more foot soldiers in terms of getting out the vote on Election Day.
And what of the candidates themselves? They've disappeared from the radar screen here in Ohio. But just to prove Gore hasn't given up here, the campaign says he'll be back.
I don't know what city yet. We're going to look at our internal numbers and see where it needs to be. But I definitely expect the vice president to come back through Ohio.
If we do see Gore again, Cleveland is probably the likely site. If he doesn't win Cleveland, he certainly will not take the state of Ohio. But remember, again, voter turnout, as always, is key. 9% of Ohio voters are undecided. If those voters go to the poll, they will be the ones who decides which candidate gets Ohio. Reporting live from downtown Columbus, Penny Moore, 10 TV Eyewitness News.
All right, Penny. Now, we don't know if George Bush will be back in Ohio, but he is sending out 29 of the nation's Republican governors to barnstorm the nation for him. Among them, Ohio Governor Bob Taft. Taft made stops at Missouri and Iowa today. Tomorrow, 4 of the other governors will be campaigning right here in the capital city. Now, meantime, Ohio's major newspapers came out with their endorsements. The Columbus Dispatch and the Cleveland Plain Dealer are backing George W. Bush. The Akron Beacon-Journal endorses Al Gore. Laura?
New at 6, allegations that the Ohio EPA covered up contamination near the River Valley campus in Marion County. In fact, a new report claims the agency knew about the dumping as far back as 1978. The Toledo Blade newspaper reports the EPA failed to disclose contamination at a former Army Reserve depot. And the reserve property sits about 1,500 feet behind the River Valley campus. However, tonight, the EPA tells 10 TV that it never covered up the contamination. In fact, the EPA says it continues to monitor the site.
We can assure ourselves with groundwater flow away and with the air monitoring between the two properties that the reserve property is not affecting the students at the school right now, then we can continue to focus on the school property primarily.
School bosses agree with the Ohio EPA that River Valley High and middle schools are still safe for students to attend.
Well, they say that the streets aren't safe because of police officers. Yeah, dozens turned out on the streets of the police department to demonstrate against police brutality and the state of the American justice system. Marchers are continuing on to City Hall to continue voicing their concerns and their objections. New developments tonight in the Licking County case of a teen killing another teen. 16-year-old Jeremy Nelson pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Nelson was indicted on charges of aggravated murder, kidnapping, and rape in connection with the death of 13-year-old Jennifer Lucas. Newark police say Nelson confessed to strangling the 13-year-old. Nelson could face a maximum sentence of life in prison.
A follow-up on a story we told you about last night. The baby hurt in a fire at a South Columbus home remains in critical condition tonight. Firefighters rescued 21-month-old Glory Akiwami from the second-floor bedroom. She suffered burns to more than 30% of her body. Investigators say the fire was started by another child playing with matches. No word yet on the cause of that deadly plane crash on I-71 over the weekend. Investigators say the fuel tanks had less than a quarter gallon of fuel and none of it spilled on impact. Meanwhile, the only survivor of the crash, Nicole Wilson, has been upgraded to serious condition.
Well, a Columbus tow truck driver is a hero tonight, a hero for saving the life of a complete stranger who had just been shot. 10 TV Eyewitness News reporter Eric Collins joins us live from East Columbus. Eric, who is the victim in this case and who's the hero?
Well, Dave, the victim is 29-year-old Maurice Green. He is listed in critical but stable condition tonight at Mount Carmel East. He's recovering from gunshot wounds to the leg and buttocks. Tonight, his relatives say he would have died from those wounds had it not been from the quick thinking of a tow truck operator who works at this gas station. Around 8 o'clock last night, someone shot Maurice Green here at the intersection of East Main and Stoddard Avenue. Maurice got into his car and managed to drive several miles before he stopped, got out of the car, and fell into the street here at East Broad and 270. Lucky for Maurice, he was picked up by a complete stranger, tow truck operator Ron Lindsay.
The guy's gonna die. I mean, something bad's gonna happen.
Maurice survived. His family says it's only because Ron stopped to help.
If Ron hadn't brought him, if he hadn't brought him when he did, that most likely he would have expired because he had lost so much blood.
Maurice almost lost the chance to say happy birthday to his son, who turns 3 today.
To have to explain that to a little kid on their birthday is not a good thing.
I'll get you.
Ron's also a father. He says saving a life has given him new appreciation for his own family.
I came home, hugged all of them, hugged all my family. I was just thankful, everything worked out pretty good.
No word yet on who shot Maurice Green or why he was shot. If you have any information on this case, please call the Columbus Police Department. Reporting live from East Columbus, Eric Collins, 10 TV Eyewitness News.
A scare for a Northeast Ohio boy and his mother. The Akron boy was hiding in a pile of leaves when his mom ran over his head with her minivan. Believe it or not, the boy only had a bruise on his face because the ground was so soft. His mom was so traumatized, she was in worse shape than her son. Well, the deadline is approaching for road crews working on several projects in the city. The Ohio Department of Transportation wants to open all lanes of 270 in North Columbus between Interstate 71 and the 161-33 interchange by Thanksgiving.
The work's gone very well. The weather has cooperated, and we anticipate being able to open those traffic lanes by the end of November.
The state also hopes to finish 315 between 670 and 70 by the end of the year. That work, we're told, is also right on schedule.
All right. Well, the weekend weather was nothing short of perfect, but get ready for some rain. Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Mike Davis now has a first look at that forecast at 6. Mike?
We do have rain tonight, Dave. It's really scattered, very, very light out there, so nothing to be concerned about just yet. The only area where we've seen any decent rainfall at all, you can see right here on Live Dual Doppler 10. If you look up to the northwest, say from Logan County going up toward the Marysville area, we'll zoom in on that just a little bit. And again, the rain isn't all that heavy there. The pockets where you see little bits of yellow, this is actually fairly decent rainfall, but it's moved now east of Route 33 and also east of Route 68. It is traveling down to the southeast just little by little, so this is all going to move into the northern part of Union County right here, out toward Richwood. Most of this will go right over the top of Marysville, so you folks should be okay tonight. More rain, though, later on. We'll show you the rest of the Doppler 10 forecast coming up.
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot. New troubles for Wendy's founder Dave Thomas. Filming a commercial for the chain's spicy chicken sandwich has turned sour with some.
Also tonight, a hot and steamy calendar featuring some OSU students is yanked off the shelves. But first, a weekend of violence on campus, and the university says enough is enough. Those stories and much more next on 10 TV Eyewitness News at 6.
You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Dave Kaylor, Angela Pace, Doppler 10 meteorologist Mike Davis, and Jeff Hogan Sports. This is WBNS 10 TV. Closed captioning is brought to you by Ohio Health, Doctors Hospital, Grant Medical Center, and Riverside Methodist Hospital.
Now get up to $2,000 cash allowance or low APR on Dodge Ram.
What would George W. Bush's plan do to Social Security? He's promising to take $1 trillion out of Social Security so younger workers can invest in private accounts. Sounds good. The problem is, Bush has promised the same money to pay seniors their current benefits. The Wall Street Journal shows he can't keep both promises. Which promise is he going to break? George W. Bush, his promises threaten Social Security.
Whose economic plan is best for you? Under George Bush's plan, a family earning under $35,000 a year pays no federal income taxes, a 100% tax cut. Earn $35,000 to $50,000, a 55% tax cut. Tax relief for everyone. And Al Gore's plan? 3 times the new spending President Clinton proposed. So much it wipes out the entire surplus and creates a deficit again. Al Gore's deficit spending plan threatens America's prosperity.
I've always been set in my ways, so when Subaru told me they were changing my Outback, I was a tad concerned. Truth is, they just made it better. This next generation Outback's got a stylish new body, quieter ride, and their best all-wheel driving system ever. Sort of inspired me to make a few changes. I think this works. The Outback.
Come to the Discover Subaru sales event where you'll find 4.9% APR on all 2000 Legacy and Outback models.
Ohio State University is fed up with students drinking and getting out of control. Tonight, university bosses are talking about taking action against those who participated in the violence that broke out on 13th Street over the weekend. 10 TV Eyewitness News reporter Angela Ann is live near campus with the story. Angela?
Laura, the party started in these apartments behind me, but with 500 people showing up, quickly spilled out into the streets. And as you can see, still a lot of broken bottles, shattered glass, along with the trash. Now, 3 people were arrested in connection with the riots, but they are not registered as university students. Students or not, the school says it is fed up, and it also knows that not all students are completely innocent. For those found guilty of causing some of the destruction, the university says they will face disciplinary action as high as suspension or even expulsion. Now, as for controlling future parties that might get out of control, the university plans to talk with Columbus Police about starting up a party patrol. It's an idea that some students think might work.
Having, police at your party throughout the whole thing isn't really my thought of fun, but I mean, I guess it could work only if they, took into extreme cases,
Now, the 3 arrested are 19-year-old Theodore Crockett, charged with 2 counts of assault and littering. That's for throwing bottles at police and injuring one of them. 20-year-old Brian Clem is charged with rioting and resisting arrest. And the third arrest, Brett Pasquariello, 18, for failure to disperse. Now, the university says it will meet with Columbus police tomorrow and then hold a public meeting on Wednesday so that they can talk about what action they need to take next. Reporting live near the campus, Angela Ann, 10 TV, Eyewitness News.
OSU is also taking action against the maker of a calendar, and you won't be able to get your hands on it because it features students with very little clothes on. We have more on that coming up. And also tonight, using a cell phone while driving really is hazardous. We'll show you the proof.
And it looks good now, but we could see an end to that picture-perfect weather. Your Doppler 10 forecast is next on 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Ready?
So did you want to take my car?
What do you mean?
Introducing the all-new Civic Coupe from Honda. Amazing, but true.
I worry about my son every minute he's out of my sight, even at school. It's our job to keep our kids safe, no matter where they are. That means helping our schools enforce zero tolerance for drugs and guns, tougher sentences for anyone who sells a gun to a minor, and requiring safety locks on all handguns. Because nothing's more important than protecting our children.
Mary Ellen O'Shaughnessy, a working mom working for us.
Is justice for sale in Ohio? You decide. Since 1994, Justice Alice Resnick has taken more than $750,000 from personal injury lawyers. Justice Resnick ruled in favor of trial lawyers who had contributed to her campaign nearly 70% of the time. After a union leader and big contributor complained about a ruling Resnick made, Resnick became the only justice to reverse herself in the case. Alice Resnick, is justice for sale?
I'd hop in my car, open the sunroof, play CDs and rocket to Rusty's for Byzantine cuisine. Presto, I am happy as a tattoo on a supermodel. This is the wild neon life.
Save over $4,200 on 2000 model year Dodge Neons.
Only one furniture store can give you this much beauty for such a small price. Value City Furniture. You just can't do any better.
Topping headlines at 6, jury selection began in Cleveland in the trial of an accused cop killer. Queasy Bryan could be sentenced to death if convicted of the shooting death of Cleveland officer Wayne Leon last June. You may recall that Bryan was arrested here in Columbus just hours after the shooting. The Ohio professor who was held hostage in Lebanon will get compensatory damages. The White House says the U.S. Treasury will pay Terry Anderson and other American terrorist victims millions in legal damages owed by Iran. Anderson, a former Associated Press reporter, teaches journalism down at Ohio University. He will get $41 million within the next several months.
At Ohio State, a calendar featuring scantily clad students has been banned from Long's bookstore. Long's is now owned by OSU's Campus Partners organization. The university has told bookstore managers not to sell the risque calendar. It features male students this year. Long's has sold the calendar since 1982. Wendy's founder Dave Thomas and other Screen Actors Guild members could face a lifetime ban from working on union commercial shoots. That's a new proposal by the Guild's strike committee. Now, Thomas broke ranks shortly before a tentative agreement had been reached on a new contract. He filmed a non-union commercial for Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Well, you better enjoy today's weather while you can because things are about to change.
That's right. Mike Davis is in to tell us about the rain and the cooler temperatures headed our way.
You know, checking another kind of calendar, we should not be 75 degrees in the afternoon. Mind you, I'm not complaining about it, but the normal high is just 62. The normal low is 40 degrees. Wait till you see where we were today. We started today at 55. Now, live dual Doppler 10 kind of pretends a few changes coming our way. Nothing really that significant here early in the week, but later on in the week, get ready for a dose of fall. Coincidentally, this is the weekend we fall back when it comes to the time. That comes up going into Saturday night and Sunday morning. Here's live dual Doppler 10. We've got showers off to our northwest. We showed you a couple of times up here by Bell Fountain. Now moving off to the east, moving into the northern part of Union County as well, and just getting into the western part of Marion County. Most of this is light, but this is about as dramatic as it is out there right now. And then you've got scattered light showers as you go south down through the eastern part of Pickaway County, down into Ross County, now east of Chillicothe for the most part, Pike County, kind of following the Scioto River as you go to the south. That's about the extent of it tonight. Later on tonight, we're going to see more showers move in. Nothing in the way of thunderstorms, I think, and the showers are going to be very hit and miss. Best chance for more is up in the northern part of the state. Well, let's talk about what's going on in terms of rainfall out there. And all day long, it's been trying to push into the state, and it just hasn't been able to do so. Our air's been relatively dry, so it's been kind of a slow process working its way in. Now, right now, we're back up to 74 degrees, which is way up from normal, of course. 75 was the high this afternoon, and by 11 o'clock, we're going to cool down to a bone-chilling 66 degrees as of 11 o'clock. That's still above the normal high, so the clouds will keep us very mild tonight, kind of a light southwesterly flow of air, very little change in temperatures overnight, but next few days we will see a little bit more of a change out there. Going to start tonight with live dual Doppler 10's future track model because it does show some showers way off to the west. You see some area of showers. This is 8 o'clock tonight in western parts of Michigan into northern Indiana and then extending back into parts of Illinois. Some heavy rain in here as well. Now what's going to happen during the evening hours is going to push our way. Here's 2 o'clock in the morning. So you've got an area of showers in northwestern Ohio. The heavier rain, though, still remains off to the west in western Michigan and into the northern part of Indiana. We go toward drive time and the rain actually picks up in intensity a little bit. There's a cold front back here, so some scattered showers going down through parts of western Indiana, Illinois, and into Missouri, but the heaviest rain coming into north central Ohio and just barely grazing us here in the Columbus area. So we may have some rain on the ground in the morning to make drive just a little bit slow on the roads. Watch it, there could be a little bit of water, but a better chance for that as you go to the north in the morning. Our chances early in the day, probably about 20 or 30%. Here's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Showers kind of taking a turn, moving through the eastern part of the state, especially northeast up by Cleveland, and then moving down toward Coshocton. And you've got scattered showers off to the west as well. So not dramatic once again, but again, the best chance of rain is to the north. And then by evening, most of it's taking a dive to the south. We're left with clouds, mild air still firmly in place, but not too much in the way of rain in terms of later in the day. So our first rain in about a week, later on tonight, going into the day tomorrow, and it's not a guaranteed big rain by any means, just kind of hit and miss stuff that's going to pass through and then be gone fairly quickly. An end to the warm spell. 75 is not the way it should be right now, so we are going to cool down late in the week, and we will have some variety this week instead of being stuck in a rut. Doppler 10's future track takes us into the upper 50s by 7 a.m. It's nice and mild again, so easy start to your day. 72 degrees in the afternoon as of about 4 o'clock. But we do have a chance for showers, especially in the afternoon and early evening. 72 degrees, just a light southwest wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Traveling around the region, you got temperatures cooler up to the north, but again, still fairly warm for the season. That's where the best chance for rain is. Wednesday, we're talking partly cloudy and 71. And your Doppler 10 5-day forecast breaks down like this. Here comes the cool stuff by Saturday. When you're thinking about going to bed in the evening and falling back with the clock, there you see the temperatures will actually feel a little bit more like fall.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thanks so much, Mike. Well, the Buckeyes are already looking ahead to their next game.
Boy, they really are. And 10 TV's Jeff Hogan has that more in sports, and they better be looking ahead.
As well they should. They're allowed to. Hi, Lauren May.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great to be here.
And they're allowed to because they had this huge weekend, you know, the big bounce-back win. So there they move on. A weekend that included Corey Dillon running into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Can you
amazing.
believe that?
Wow.
If that can happen, anything can happen out there. The Bucs will face an aerial attack this week like they won't see again this season. We'll talk about it next in sports.
From the first ballot in the box to the last tally in the race for president and all those congressional races in between. Count on 10 TV Eyewitness News for total coverage of Election 2000.
My parents worked hard to provide a better life for me and my sisters. My father, a machinist, my mom, a seamstress. For their hard work, they were given a paycheck and a promise. The promise was that Social Security would be there for them when they retired. As your representative to Congress, I'll fight to protect Social Security for our seniors and work to strengthen it for generations to come. Because in my family, a promise is a promise.
Pat Tiberi for Congress.
We were with the patriots who fought and bled for these stars and stripes around the world. We are the makers of America's firearms. But now we're being bullied into a new fight with politicians and lawyers who are using your tax dollars to sue us for the acts of criminals they won't stop, threatening our constitutional rights and what we fought so hard to preserve. America's freedom.
Of all the things that matter in life, few things matter more than our children. As a former Franklin County Assistant Prosecutor, husband and father, Jim Hughes cares about our kids. Jim Hughes wants our children to attend safe schools in classrooms that are free from troublemakers, so teachers can teach and kids can learn. And Jim Hughes wants higher standards and more accountability in the classroom, so our children get the first-class education they deserve. Putting children first. Jim Hughes, our state representative.
The leaves are falling. The roads are waiting. It's time for the Pontiac Fall Drive-Away. Time to drive away a new 2000 Pontiac with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months on select models. It's time to get 0% APR. But hurry, selection is limited. And on October 31st, the Pontiac Fall Drive-Away drives away.
Ohio State football beating Iowa this weekend may have come across as just another conference win, but it guarantees the Bucs a postseason trip, and that's something they could not do last year. So now it's on to Purdue this week, and with 4 games left and some serious meat and potatoes left on the schedule, OSU is still controlling its own destiny. As a matter of fact, Coach Cooper put it into perspective for us today.
All you got to do is win. Just keep winning. Beat Purdue, beat Illinois, beat Michigan State, and beat Michigan, and you go to the Rose Bowl. All you got to do is win. Keep winning. Easier said than done.
You can say that again. Can you complete just 2 passes in an NFL game and win? Well, the answer is yes if you have Corey Dillon carrying the football. It only took Dillon 22 totes to run his way into the Hall of Fame again. He set the rookie single-game rushing record yesterday behind the league's worst offense. Dillon went for 278 yards against Denver's second-rated rush defense.
It didn't matter to me if I had 1 yard. As long as we go out there and we win, I'm satisfied. I mean, things just turned out better than we expected. We got the win, and in that same process, we broke a record.
Something you don't see very often, Eddie George standing on the sideline for the Tennessee Titans. George hurt his knee on the first play of yesterday's win over Baltimore, but there was little swelling this morning. Team officials are calling it the best news possible, just a mild sprain, and he is hoping to play this week. All right, if the Bengals can win and Corey Dillon can run for an NFL record, certainly anything can happen in the world of sports, and it makes Columbus beating Detroit in hockey not sound so far-fetched, and it almost happened last night. The Blue Jackets tied the score at 1 when Steve Hines netted a goal with less than a minute left in regulation, but in overtime, the Red Wings quieted a sold-out Nationwide arena. Kirk Maltby on a swing and a miss beat Ron Tugnut for a 2-1 win.
Overall, we had an outstanding game, and it's just a little disappointing that I think the player missed his shot at the end. To be honest with you, I think he missed it and it went in the top corner. So if he tells you he was aiming there, I don't think he would be telling the truth.
Tough way to go down. It's a travel day for the World Series. The Yankees will pack up everything they have and make the big 9-mile trip over to Shea Stadium, leading the Mets 2-0 after last night's second straight 1-run game, a game that had tempers flared right from the start. Roger Clemens splintered Mike Piazza's bat, then fired the kindling back at Piazza.
And when he threw the bat, I basically, after that, just walked out to see what his problem was. And I started asking him, and he really had no response.
There was no intent. Fired up and emotional, and grabbed the bat to sling it towards our on-deck circle.
You gotta be kidding me.
He said, you know what, he's a more accurate thrower than that, so I'm thinking that he could...
on-deck circle. He's going for the on-deck circle.
Yeah, I believe that.
Thanks, Jeff.
On-deck circle. Cell phones, you see them everywhere, right?
That's right, but tonight there is proof they could be hazardous to your health. Details up next.
Meet Jenna from the CBS hit Survivor when the Blue Jackets take on San Jose October 25th. She'll oversee your vote for the final WNCI Morning Zoo Survivor and award the winner a brand new Pontiac Aztek from Dennis Auto Point. Then on October 27th, 10 TV and Sports Radio 1460 The Fan invite you to vote Tugnut Night during the Blue Jackets Capitals game. The first 15,000 through the door get this free poster, and you can buy this shirt for just $5. Vote Tugnut Night, October 27th at the Nationwide Arena.
I think one of the most important things is not to take our strong economy for granted. Keep on the right track with fiscal discipline, keep making the tough decisions, but keep investing in the things that are important for our future. You look at young children and think about how important it is for them to breathe clean air, to give them the finest education anywhere in the world. In a time when our health is everything, we've got to have more access to affordable health care. We've got to look to the future. We've got to keep our prosperity going.
Hit the road this fall with the best finance rate of the year on select 2000 Chevy trucks during Truck Month. Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Chevy S10 and Blazer 4-door. That's up to $4,100 in finance savings on S10, up to $6,100 in finance savings on Blazer. Hurry, Truck Month ends October 31st. Get 0 APR on S10 and Blazer 4-door. See your Chevy dealer now.
In today's world, you're on the go more than ever. That's why AT&T Digital One Rate has no roaming or long-distance charges in all 50 states, so you can travel from the big city to the Big Easy to the Big Island, and won't be far from the people who matter most. AT&T Digital One Rate. Now, more plans to choose from with more minutes than ever before. Wireless from AT&T. Your world close at hand.
Very mild out there. A few light scattered showers tonight. Right now, 74. 11 o'clock, still 66. Guys, we won't even hit our normal high by later on this evening.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. You've heard that driving while using a cell phone can be hazardous. Well, now we have some proof.
A new study from Miami University of Ohio shows using a cell phone slows reaction time. In fact, researchers found reaction time for braking was 24% slower when the driver was on a cell phone. So at 65 miles an hour, such a delay means an increase in stopping distance of nearly 10 feet.
So the bottom line is then, go ahead and do that, just as long as you realize you need an extra 10 feet.
Or just pull over and make the call. Thanks for being with us.
See you tonight, 11. Bye.
Is there a new terror threat against the United States? CBS News learns some U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf are on the very highest state of alert tonight. Bush and Gore stick to their scripts today, but Nader may write the ending. Why flying coach could cost some travelers their health. And we take you inside Afghanistan, where women pay a price for safety.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The world grows ever more dangerous. Less than 2 weeks after the suicide bombing of the USS Cole in Yemen, CBS News has information tonight about a new terror threat against the United States. Once again, it is a threat against U.S. forces in the Middle East. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin has this exclusive report about the threat and the U.S. government response.
U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf states of Bahrain and Qatar have been placed on the highest state of alert in response to what Pentagon officials call specific and credible intelligence reports of plans for another terrorist attack. The alert status, known as Condition Delta, is equivalent to being placed on a battle footing. In addition, the American embassy in Qatar has been temporarily shut down.
Intelligence officials say some of the threats involve terrorist groups with links to Osama bin Laden. And that has kicked off a debate within the administration about whether to launch a preemptive strike against his bases in Afghanistan. But right now, U.S. forces are hunkering down.
Delta is a much higher state of alert than the Condition Bravo, which the Cole was in when it entered Aden Harbor. It was not until many days after the explosion that machine gun positions could be seen on the ship's deck. But a machine gun probably wouldn't have stopped this from happening, because the boat which carried the explosives simply was not recognized as a threat.
Well, if it's offering services, hotel services that we can't do while we're moored, yeah, it's very normal.
What Raymond Mooney, who was wounded in the explosion, thought nothing of at the time, in retrospect seems like a dead giveaway.
You know,